Today, we're going to dive into Mother Gothel's entire backstory to discover how she learned about the sundrop, how she discovered the healing incantation, and how wicked this villain truly was before she stole a princess. When we are introduced to Gothel, we learn that she was a decrepit woman who discovered the magic golden flower that was formed from a sundrop that fell from the heavens. From the earliest days of the Kingdom of Corona to the reign of King Frederick, Gothel was preserving herself using this mystical entity and by reciting the healing incantation. With an understanding that Gothel had remained alive for centuries, there had been practically unlimited possibilities as to what could have happened to guide her to this power and knowledge. But everything appears to have become clear because of the expansion of the legends, history, and backstory of Rapunzel's world in Tangled the Series. Honestly, one of my favorite Disney sequels ever. While Gothel's ability to use the golden flower is the magic she is best known for, I believe her abilities extend far beyond that. I think an allegiance with some formidable beings from the past guided Mother Gothel to the magic and wisdom that allowed her to thrive with a young appearance far beyond a normal life. Hello, I'm Isaac from Wotso videos where we discuss fun topics for fun people. On my channel, I'm focused on spreading magic by discussing Disney, so if you are new here, consider subscribing. Now, let me explain who these entities are who I believe Gothel aligned with. You see, long ago, before Mother Gothel had control over the sundrop, there existed a partnership between an ancient sorceress known as Zhan Tiri and a brilliant engineer and inventor named Lord Demanitus. Together, they were on a quest to find the sundrop and the moonstone, two powerful entities that had been divided by a mysterious cosmic event in the heavens before they descended to the world. While this partnership was formidable, it would inevitably degrade as Zhan Tiri began to become obsessed with hoarding the power they searched for, desiring to have both ancient entities at her command. From the moment where Lord Demanitus turned his back on the ambitious Zhan Tiri until they both faded from the world, they would wage a war against one another for a millennia. While Zhan Tiri might have begun as an individual searching for knowledge, she devolved into someone who spent the rest of her existence manipulating others, seeking revenge, craving destruction, and wielding dark magic. Now, it does seem a little weird that these wise forces were able to learn about the sundrop and the moonstone without actually having them in their possession. But as we are able to see from the creation of the Dark Kingdom around the moonstone, people had been interacting with and attempting to understand these entities long before even Zhan Tiri and Demanitus existed. I think each of these entities were primarily piecing the entire world's understanding of the sundrop and moonstone together for the first time. For many years, Zhan Tiri and Demanitus clashed throughout the world as the sorceress continued to attempt to take revenge against him, and they both continued to search for and research the sundrop and the moonstone. Zhan Tiri would continue to understand these heavenly objects more while she remained protected by an entity known as the Great Tree, while Lord Demanitus developed his knowledge on these powerful objects with 3 of his pupils. There was Chamus, Shugaracha, and finally, an unnamed student of Demanitus who I believe is Mother Gothel. Clearly, it looks like her, with the large curly hair and the hourglass dress, but it's not just looks, which leads me to believe that it's truly her. We actually know that Gothel's voice is present in this episode, as Donna Murphy, the woman who voiced Gothel even in the original film, was credited as an additional voice in this episode. Plus, she was credited alongside Gavin Creel, who had voiced Tramus in his original reveal of that character, along with Eden Regal, who is not the original voice of Shugaracha, as she was originally brought to life by Eden Green. But Eden Green was a lead in a feature film that came out in 2019, so I have a feeling she might have been a little busy to return. What I'm saying is that it appears Gothel's voice actress was credited alongside the other voices of Lord Demanitus's pupils. That means, with no other references or flashbacks to Gothel in the episode Lost and Found, which introduces this group of followers, other than this form that resembles her, I believe that the third individual has to be Mother Gothel. This is the moment that I believe was meant to allude to Mother Gothel's true origins. And now that you understand why I think Gothel was an individual that studied the sundrop and the moonstone with Lord Demanitus, Now I can explain what became of those followers. Zhan Tiri appealed to the pupils of Demanitus's desire for power and convinced them to betray their master to become her disciples. Craving the heavenly powers that she promised, these three pledged themselves to the sorceress and called upon their new master now that they believed in her mission, might, and magic. But soon after that, Zhan Tiri's empire kind of came crashing down. After using all of his power to banish Zhan Tiri to the Lost Realm, Lord Demanitus broke apart his research and hid the pieces across the world, fearing what the knowledge could be used for in the wrong hands. He also began the process of imprisoning Zhan Tiri's followers, which even included one of his former students, Sugaracha. But Tramus and Gothel were able to escape this purge. If you'd like to learn more about Zhan Tiri's entire story, I'll leave a link to my video about her down below, because I can assure you she does return. Although, for now, her disciples were on their own. From those ancient days on, Tramus and Sugaracha were able to survive for hundreds of years by transforming themselves into spirits. But, of course, Mother Gothel never did that herself, as I believe she wanted to preserve her true body. I mean, she just cared about her looks a little bit, right? In the episode of Tangled the Series, A Tale of Two Sisters, we learn that underneath the cottage where she would eventually raise her daughter Cassandra, which she could have stayed within since her days after Zhan Tiri, there existed a hidden underground hideout with a room covered in notes about the sundrop and the moonstone.
What is this stuff? The sundrop. Oh, look at this. The sun incantation.
What these documents appear to resemble is the research within the Demanitus and Great Tree Scrolls. It seems that Gothel took some of the knowledge that she had contributed to discovering with her when she went into hiding from Lord Demanitus and all who sought her ancient power. While other disciples of Zhan Tiri plotted for their master's return, it doesn't seem like that was truly what Gothel was striving to do. There's really no evidence that she was trying to bring her old master back, even when she discovered the unlimited power of the sundrop. In my mind, she turned her back on Zhan Tiri just like she did to Demanitus. I believe after a lifetime of investigating, researching, and struggling to uncover the secrets of the sundrop and moonstone, turning her back on two masters who had assisted her along the way, and finally clamoring for the restorative and healing magic of the golden flower, I think Gothel finally found what she had been hoping for when she needed it most. I think Mother Gothel carried that precious research that contained the sundrop's healing incantation with her throughout the rest of her life, until that fateful moment when she was able to discover the golden flower. And from that day on, she would do anything to protect it. Now she could finally be praised, appreciated, and loved for the youthful beauty that she had restored. From then on, Gothel lived near this magical flower, hoarding it for herself along with the rest of the magic she had learned throughout her lifetime. Underneath the cottage where Gothel lived, she preserved her research, concocted spells, and even collected dozens of mirrors embedded with magic that recalled memories from her past. Most of these were just her getting excited about compliments she received. Not my cup of tea, but whatever, Gothel, you do your thing. She was one who loved all those moments of praise.
Today I received several compliments on my way into town. The bookseller couldn't believe how young I looked. Someone told me I was breathtaking.
Hundreds of years later, just 4 years before Rapunzel was born, Mother Gothel also had a daughter, who she named Cassandra. But unfortunately for Cassandra, Gothel despised her, constantly hating the distraction and demanding nature of the young girl.
Can I come?
Absolutely not, Cassandra. You know your place is here.
For the most part, Cassandra was mainly just used to clean Gothel's home and conduct other chores. She wasn't permitted to go out into the world with Gothel and was just expected to serve her mother when she was asked. This sounds very similar to her parenting style that she would later use with Rapunzel. While there were times Cassandra did receive affection, like when she was given her beloved music box, it was mainly just a ploy to ensure that Cass wouldn't bother her mother.
Hopefully that'll keep her out of my hair for a while. Lousy little pest.
But if Gothel hated her so much, why would she have had Cassandra? In my mind, it just seemed like Cass was a consequence of the adoration that Gothel sought after. While I believe Gothel took care of Cassandra because she was her daughter, she despised having someone with her that held her back from the life that she desired. That's why I think Gothel resented her and even one day abandoned her. When the time finally came that the golden flower was taken by King Frederick's guards, and Mother Gothel discovered that she could only be healed with the hair of their daughter Rapunzel, Gothel stole the child, lost the guards who followed her at her cottage, and left Cassandra behind. After searching an entire mortal life for the golden flower and coveting its magic, Mother Gothel would never be willing to give it up. She would rather abandon Cassandra and raise the princess who embodied the sundrop rather than face aging, decay, and death head on. But let me know down below what your thoughts and theories are about Mother Gothel's backstory. Also make sure to subscribe and click the beautiful bell, and then click on another magical video in the description or on the screen. Finally, as always, thanks for watching and have a magical day.